Aloha! This is lesson 35 from A Course in Miracles with Hope Johnson. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Today's idea does not describe the way you see yourself now. It does, however, describe what vision will show you. It is difficult for anyone who thinks he is in this world to believe this of himself. Yet the reason he thinks he is in this world is because he does not believe it. You will believe that you are part of where you think you are. That is because you surround yourself with an environment you want. And you want it to protect the image of yourself that you have made. The image is part of the environment. What you see while you believe you are in it is seen through the eyes of the image. This is not vision. Images cannot see. The idea for today presents a very different view of yourself. By establishing your source, it establishes your identity, and it describes you as you must really be in truth. We will use a somewhat different kind of application for today's idea because the emphasis for today is on the perceiver rather than on what he perceives. For each of the 3 5-minute practice periods today, begin by repeating today's idea to yourself, and then close your eyes and search your mind for the various kinds of descriptive terms in which you see yourself. Include all ego-based attributes which you ascribe to yourself, positive or negative, desirable or undesirable, grandiose or debased. All of them are equally unreal because you do not look upon yourself through the eyes of holiness. In the earlier part of the mind-searching period, you will probably emphasize what you consider to be the more negative aspects of your perception of yourself. Toward the latter part of the exercise period, however, more self-inflating descriptive terms may well cross your mind. Try to recognize that the direction of your fantasies about yourself does not matter. Illusions have no direction in reality. They are merely not true. A suitable unselected list for applying the idea for today might be as follows. I see myself as imposed upon. I see myself as depressed. I see myself as failing. I see myself as endangered. I see myself as helpless. I see myself as victorious. I see myself as losing out. I see myself as charitable. I see myself as virtuous. You should not think of these terms in an abstract way. They will occur to you as various situations, personalities, and events in which you figure cross your mind. Pick up any specific situation that occurs to you. Identify the descriptive term or terms you feel are applicable to your reactions in the situation, and use them in applying today's idea. After you have named each one, add, "But my mind is part of God's. I am very holy." During the longer exercise periods, there will probably be intervals in which nothing specific occurs to you. Do not strain to think up specific things to fill the interval, but merely relax and repeat today's idea slowly until something occurs to you. Although nothing that does occur should be omitted from the exercises, nothing should be dug out with effort. Neither force nor discrimination should be used. As often as possible during the day, pick up a specific attribute or attributes you are ascribing to yourself at the time and apply the idea for today to them, adding the idea in the form stated above to each of them. If nothing particular occurs to you, merely repeat the idea to yourself with eyes closed. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. So the emphasis for today is on the perceiver. You're not the perceiver. The perceiver is what you set up to interpret, to make interpretations of everything that you perceive, that it seems to perceive. Let's say that, because you don't even really perceive. You set up a perceiver to perceive for you. The perceiver perceives according to your choice. That's whether you would interpret it with the ego or interpret with the Holy Spirit. So let's say the perceiver is perceiving, gosh, I am so freaking amazing because I did this, and this. So that's where my mind is part of God's. I am very holy takes you out of being a perceiver. See, we get identified as this one who's making the interpretations, and that's really stressful. It causes us tension in the body, in the mind, and when we're aware that we're part of God, we're not that perceiver, then we're free from that. So the positive aspects lead to the negative, and the negative leads back to the positive. Without this oversight, we can't hold on to one end. You know, it's like we want to see ourselves as more of a positive aspect when we're identified with the ego. Only when we're identified with the ego. When we're identified as who we are, it does not matter to us what the perceiver is saying we are. It really just doesn't matter. The perceiver is relieved because the perceiver that we set up is projecting a body sense of fear. Even if it's perceiving that we're good or it's perceiving that we're bad, it's the same. It's a contraction. So my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Takes me out of this identification as a perceiver and back into reality where there's actual relief.
Is perceiver the same as doer?
Well, they're the same. Perceiver is the same as doer in the sense that they're both projected, right? So it's not the same as in, the doer is what the perceiver is perceiving doing, right? So there's the perceiver and then there's the doer, right? So the perceiver is perceiving what the doer is doing and making judgments based on that. Now, that judgment can be based on the ego's judgment or it can be based on the Holy Spirit's judgment. See? So that's why I can seem to do something that would seem to be terrible to the perceiver, just horrible. The perceiver's freaking out, like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? But then at the same time, I'm not that perceiver. So I don't have to get into that. I don't have to get into any kind of mental games like that, right? I'm just immediately out of it. And it's like, oh, I love that about myself, right? Because I'm immediately out of it. I'm back. It's like instantly back to source. So the perceiver then is going off of whatever judgment I'm choosing to allow to follow. When I'm choosing the Holy Spirit's judgment is that isn't even me. The mind of God is wholly innocent. That's the Holy Spirit's judgment. So it's instant relief because it's instantly back to source.
Maybe I heard something like this, that they say about karma, that both good karma and bad karma is accumulation on identity.
Yes.
So in the same way, it's kind of talking about don't take any good perception thoughts or bad perception thoughts as yourself.
As yourself, exactly.
Rather know that neither of those are you.
Right, because the bottom line is we don't want perception.
Mm.
We don't really want a perceiver set out to perceive a separate world for us.
Mm-hmm.
We made a perceiver to keep our separate self safe, to keep it protected. Right? But there's this fear of losing it due to identification. And see, as a perceiver, the perceiver is perceiving this body and the whole world that's around it. Right? So it's automatically believing that it is where it perceives itself to be. So this is training the perceiver even to see that it is not where it seems to be. It's nowhere. Right?
Yeah, a thought may come to mind hearing all of this, that this is complicated.
Sure.
Which is, again, a perception.
Yes.
So we can just relieve ourselves from that also, that, oh, I am not that.
Yes, that's...
But I'm part of God's mind and I'm very holy.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems complicated because the ego likes to complicate things. It's actually very simple.
I know, I'm just sharing that because these thoughts kind of like come in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Any thought can come in the way.
Yes.
Right? Which is always only a perception.
Yes.
No matter what it is saying. So just adding that at the end that, but I'm part of God's mind and I'm very holy.
Yes.
It takes our attention away from that thought.
Yes.
And as you said, like sinks back into the source. It's kind of like instantaneous. As soon as the attention goes away from the thought, it goes to the source.
That's it.
Another thought may arise, again the same thing, goes back to the source.
Yes.
As soon as we relieve our attention from it. So it's kind of like teaching and training us to relieve attention from all these thoughts and know how the source feels like.
Yes.
So we can put our attention more and more there.
Yes, and we naturally become more and more devoted to the truth because
Right.
we know how it feels in contrast to how it feels to pursue with the ego.
Right.
Yes. Yes. So that idea that the A Course in Miracles is complicated, yes, that is very common idea.
Right.
Comes up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to deter you from going forward. Also, I'm not intelligent enough to get this is another thought. I can't get this. I don't have a mind for this.
Right.
Yeah. Back to God on that because anyone can get this. It's super simple. It's only seeming complicated because the ego complicates everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So have a beautiful practice today. You are very holy. Yay. Aloha.